latest 9:15 a.m. Please pay attention. Members are expected to be seated in the chamber latest 9:15 a.m. The clerk has also issued additional instructions which I want to bring to your attention. All honorable members are to be seated in the chamber 9:15 a.m. This is because once His Excellency the President enters the chamber, national security will not allow any member access into the chamber. So note that once the national security takes over, no member will be allowed access into the chamber. So after 9:15, it will be difficult to have access to the chamber.
Aban da tudwa say adwumafo ketu antumu wo ha mutichemu du na wode apiso e de amo mo no na adom kuma no mpenifo chim say yekodidi by rest nesini miensa ukotu musi at 10%. Dom kuma no ba no dani chim say wo fom dodo o mpene so.
Mr. Speaker, the second issue. In 2017, public sector workers enjoyed 12.5% increment, 2018 11%, 2020 15%, 2021 there was a 4% plus interim premium of 15%, 2022 there was 15% COLA on base salary, 2023 30%, 2024 23% between January and June, and then July to December was 25%. We have just had a paltry increment of 10%. The leader of government business must take note of this and inform His Excellency the President that these are the numbers he came to meet. The ordinary Ghanaian worker has a higher expectation in this 133 24-hour research economy. They have a legitimate expectation that President Mahama will do, if cannot match it, he should do better. Mr. Speaker, the 10% is unacceptable.
Adwumafo asabre abanto maketuemu hamuchichemu eduno and majority leader nwonyamfo Mahama Yariga eretudwa achese sade adwumafo no agiatum no echese omu ogidie wo mampani John Dramani Mahama mu enti na 10% no wo mankasa o magiatum no.
The tripartite committee met to negotiate with government regarding salary increases. Mr. Speaker, at the end of the negotiations, the workers of this country, led by their leaders, the union leaders, happily and gladly accepted 10% increase. Mr. Speaker, accepting 10% increment as against 25% or 12% or 13% is a vote of confidence in the leader. Because they are confident that President John Dramani Mahama, when he collects the public money, taxes, he will not be flying aircraft and bathing in the air. That he will not be engaging in profligate spending. He will not be engaging in wasteful spending. And because they are confident that President John Dramani Mahama is going to make good use of the public money.
Aban ada no cabinet woni aban besin konya je to ato mu na wahwe kwampo betimi afa so na enema ani etimi ada na koyie ewo wo my Ghana mu na cabinet a mampanyina de wona die no finance minister, health minister, education minister, interior minister, defense minister omo nyina no omo ka ho bi na we na governance expert na wasai dean other business administration and communication actor no ewo academic city university Professor Enokopoku Antwi wakase chiri misa bedweko aban adawo die wo gidie so betima abo aban ama economy no ayeye.
Out of 19 years, 17 MPs, 2 MPs. A bit for diverse background. Now, it be a lawyers, it be entrepreneurs, it be all different backgrounds, it be a medical doctors, it be to serve a medical doctor. And diverse backgrounds, Emma, almost you do a man. No, but you ma mobile, very simple. Almost the bois, ama president in a woman. A honest and no. Say over war, we know what my committee the ground be asked or also send a president in the kind and in any action. And more mine. There will be diverse opinions. Say, Obibeka said, many president, we know not you again say about word because I am a field who experience your all. Because presidents who are a field. And you know, yet what were doing, I said, the young sending back to training. Into moving forward, send about money the person. Obi cabinet minister diano, you expect to say very efficient. Yedi kano, loyalty to the president in here. But beside the loyalty, you have that sense of urgency. Say, "O man, you see that inflation. That the profaka, mama, so for ka year to me entry from the previous government. Any individual so I do omoka, omoto government shares and born a year to me entry. Into no problem, you have fast why you have fix the economy. Number one, inflation. See the near see a sum. Now, just see now. Which we are for target. Yes, and no for target now. Which now for a santum. And more and maybe be able to. Yet, you feel near the money. And I have to say, most of these cabinet ministers, only young people, who share Europe and North America make US and Canada. Normally, you say, people be a deal on the idea. No more celebrity. And it's a command for your tomatoes. A drew, you be this was a very tomato first. Our commandant, they united the cars. And in your many other commandant, yes, celebrity commandant, who tomatoes. I began a yearly ritual. Obu why be ankana wo mukrom. Obu akotoriwa. Yes, celebrate these communities. Ebema sad no mo ye no. Abe national event. Sika bebem. Enti ye wonyama bebraya ya ye ntimi generate sika. Say say internally you generate sika because a man na wo advanced countries in Iran o ma brain technology na ebu AI na ebu e kwa be na be fa so e betimi create startups businesses ama students you create research hubs it students na nkomo nya adwuma no your research hubs omo boa research ayi na banks ni financial institution no boa na academia yanso ya boa business plan any financial plan any marketing plan na fe nyama no koso obiya no beto na mama na koso san ye boa man.
Nanse ntamo kanea dundum ekoso ewo memu na sede be asa hawi etu betwanti oso afo hwe ahon ne ensam so monyamfo John Abdullahi Jinapo ene okwadwuma nsrae ewo the West African Pipeline Company ewo Tama ene mpanifo akwakodi enkobo.
Because of this exercise, we are unable to power about 800 megawatts of thermal capacity, putting a huge strain on the supply of electricity to the grid. So what we've done is to procure some liquid fuels, i.e. Light crude oil, distillate fuel, and HFO. The effect of this exercise is that we are producing just enough to meet demand. And so we have no spare capacity, we have no reserve margin, putting a huge strain on the supply of power. Let me thank the officials of WAPCO for the work they are doing. So far, it's a very difficult work, but the indication I'm getting is that they are on schedule. However, the next 1 week is very critical because the next 1 week will determine the extent of the success of the work they are pursuing. All things being equal, at the beginning of next month, we should see the flow of gas, which means that power supply will be much, much more enhanced. We have a challenge though. We've received a letter from NGAS threatening not to supply the gas even after this exercise because there's an outstanding liability of about $75 million. And so government has to scramble around and find a way of meeting this huge challenge. Mr. President has directed that I go to Nigeria to meet our Nigerian counterparts to deliberate and negotiate with them so we can make some part payments, have a briefing space whilst we take time to settle the outstanding liabilities. But clearly, it tells you that we inherited a very, very difficult situation, a very challenging situation. Be that as it may, we have to find solutions to these challenges. And our main effort and concentration is on how we can find these solutions, the immediate term, the medium term, but more importantly, the long term. If by the time the pigging is complete and gas is not flowing, we are going to run into major crisis. In fact, it costs us a lot of money to buy liquid fuel. It's not an option. No matter what, we have to find a way of consuming the gas. And no matter the challenge, I'm sure that given the caliber of people we have, we'll be able to find a solution and forge ahead with them. Normally, you wouldn't run these plants on diesel, and you would have procured light crude oil. But because of the time period and the time you require to treat the light crude oil, we've had to run on diesel. It's normally not the case. The light crude oil is arrived, but you need a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks to treat that light crude oil. But diesel, you can consume it immediately. HFO, heavy fuel oil, you can consume it. And so that is what we are consuming. And if we had planned well, we shouldn't be in this situation. Let me appeal to Ghanaians that if they see some minimum disruption in the power supply, it's not deliberate. It's just that given the situation and given the short time period that we've had to scramble to procure fuel, every thermal plant that can run on fuel, we've brought that thermal plant on board. The 800 megawatts that is stranded and cannot supply power, it is because they are not dual fuel plants and they cannot consume diesel. If they could consume liquid fuel, would have procured that.
Ewe kasebonesi se no ekwamu atene komotwetwe ebifrase na David oforisa fo mpemfo besim konwa na wajebre na wadi Ghana nkomo na ngalamse ho
bounce na kantamanto fo no nso sika bia mampani di komo no ehun hia
yemfa nu mfiri hona yewia yaba bedi nkomo no ene na ye de no sore so ye kwakopie mu ewo kantamanto wabre ija eto kantamanto no Ghana fododo na no ena kantamanto dwadifo no we wona doye ene yankwasa ye director ose kwame despite kra no de nchance ni sika bi kokwe wona doye sa so na kurudo na no ekokwe wona ye na so ya kame akwasa sika no wampinifo nsa kan no nature ene ne dwumadie no akwakwe something which is there ebi chirim se sika no kra na asi fa bi afa bi mu nsase ebi nso chirim se ne aka ne yebeche ebi nso da bi ma mu nche yemfa nya adwuma na eho nsem na akwa bibia wo ho no mo anwumre yi yekokopie mu wakantamanto
Sikano, sa 10 billion, old currency 10 billion. Yeah, tiasie. Mubeche. Yeah, fantoka, emajano, bolaka. Because that can say when you need bolaka, it's a nyadi tiasie. Pamia just can game. Yeah, tiasie. Yeah, no muka. You know, Maka Bolaka, you hear Bolaka, that be a cast as some way, even though they are well, say Bolaka any time. In so to a ball of good getting the brain. I don't want to the other day. It's a here Bolaka or Jamu, about why.
Or how I walk problem I walk, ya change time my nadi. I didn't be that. I boy, a mind, a Ganica, a car. Bola, boy, a car. I walk at Amatu Yaha. It's a mimi say, Sikalomu Tamo Bia, over scanning top Bolaka. It is Saska, someone. The Otiasian, Sanya Ubo, 125 Ghana cedi. Obagate 1.2 billion or the amount.
As a young lady like me, me Juma, me just training Ashe. Obi Frau now catch and say, we yam wow pesca, Juma cross, ya bram was cabby, I'm by Juma. And to me, your friend say, I'm over my scan, and I mean, Sabia, at least men, ya promise men 2,000, they are starting to be. Now, most of my scar 1.250. I mean, how? 125. Then I made a quiet.
Yeah, honorable side.
yan bani for no man yo bieska omu ma enu omu ma chance mi ade boso enti other side no omu di omu ska dia ona bon crofon ya nu obieska eseska na aba no so mu ja ya de ya inside e pese yan bani for di yeduma ade man ne asunje
because me am gina me ne ma se kwa na e ko 1 billion enti sa wo no mu wie na se mo timi ko je ko ska bebre ba ngofo de abreye obi kwa hye ya bonte kwa na otum ka yesa na se mo kwa mu dwa na esia mamo esi mahama ble muska ba o mi able mu bi we able mu bi enti ska ye ka ye nya 10 pesos kwa obi ansa ka me kwa cheda obi eni pa bebre able ska me mitwe me shop kwa no me nya cement me nya tasimbo
kantamanto hye ye no ye nya akuakuo mako 28 na ye no leaders no ene kasa enti the leaders no be ka no me ntimi nka se me mpene na se me mpene na mo de omni se o mampanyi de na o de maye no okay 60 so dua se ye nchema obi anya bi what you say enti se wo chairman we no group no mo fi se mo kwotena se na mo se 125 no enso na mo pese mo de to eye bi mo pese mo de to taxi kura de adwuma eye mo amasem mo kwotena se na mo se ye lewe ye de no ye nche ye de koto abobo ya de ye adwuma me ntimi nka jam se mamo nye but ya kan bata no ene ye dis kan nyina ama enti ande me nsi obi kwan se chairman bi ni groups ndo mbe so mo de ye no me ntimi nka se mo fanye ndo mbe so mo de ye bi ya ye nya chenkwa aye account no de me ni problem wo ho ye ena me ka se sika abeka me nsa nyina no 781,200 expenses ya ye wo mu no expenses ya wo mu 366,782 Ghana cedi me no ka se sika aka eda bank Kantman sika 414,418 Ghana cedis ye gusu ye adwuma me no ka se ye to wo ye wie be sisi pillars ye be gate atwa no ye be fa security ye be trail ni wo mu ama security na da hatam bia ye ma obi ama me dadwo no mu se de be ya to renche me banti sika na de gusu ye adwuma ye wie a se de ne ye ye be sia ba ha abebu akonta
etie me fo na o company omo designated side man de omo again you need dumping side offer ball na hina rikogu and omo dumping side we need dumping side me man talk because for you na unye ba bi rikogu it is our dumping side omo yesu ani bi etie den a me fo na be se wura no etie ka se kotoko bata ye to hina de ball rikogu etie ne em say etie se ni ye timi to ye to ni ba bi rikogu
awie afeedie kasebonasi asise na kwamu atene David oforesa fo nimpen fo besin konya galamsey na yedi ho nkomo na galamsey ko no David akoya something which is there say na say kwa speaker ka say oni de ogidi sem na se bedwa fo ndo na aka ho intadin sa aboa no so aya na se ya sha se ifini niti ye betima ko galamsey no a enye enwuram ho na enye ho no wo se ya sha se ifiri so
say grade de hu kra ni say se galamsey fo no akode a ebi mu de omo de ama bambofo bi a ebom ho ban wo aye mu no chesa posifo ne bambofo akakra ni bi
galamsey omo hyenguram tutu galamsey no menim say bia unim obi wo mpatamu na wahu obi da tutu galamsey nipa no bi sa ho say sa akode na se security na ya fo mo bo concession ho ban no be ne sika atua bi enti nipa na concession ne dia no one na finance sa ade no asase ya media antimatoto mato excavator ene ade a ene wo betima bo ho ban of course obetena ha no ono so ne yesu oni yesu say na galamsey nyo enso ono ana wo ye sa ade no nti ye be tu so sa ade a difara medem susu say wo say sha se free soro hono ma empenifo bi wo hono mo a itime kate no ase ho be ye mere
and the expert ba
ye ntima woni expecting
expert for ba nti omba ma be chire ni
ya mamumo anyway ye twe ho abasisia na akoma twetwe no afirase